actually lived in Bullhead City on and off for 25 years. I grew up here. We had a very hard time when it came to the pandemic. Not a lot of individuals here have the resources to be able to find specific childcare for their kids. And being a mom of 5 kids, it was absolutely just an overwhelming burden, and I mean that in a sense of having 5 children for 5 months and having to homeschool all of them. I found it interesting, and it kind of goes into the reason why I ran in the first place. It kind of goes into the reason why I ran in the first place and was only a write-in candidate. We went to a school board, and the school board said basically we're not fit to open. We have not taken the right precautions or planned the right, we haven't had the right plans to be able to get our kids back in school. And so for a lot of people, it was devastating because people are actually going back to work now. And so they had to either find childcare or they had to find, ways to, innovative ways to be able to keep their kids doing the work that they needed to do and keeping the attendance that they needed to keep while the schools were not in session. And so I felt like the district dropped the ball completely, and so I felt like the district dropped the ball completely when it came to having those plan Bs and having those contingencies to get our kids back in school, especially because we had from this, really inflamed in March, and that 5 months really could have been, they're culpable for the 5 months that they did not have a contingency, and I found that to be really important to me, especially because these kids needed to have that interaction, that societal need of being, with their peers. And so, it's totally different when they're at home with their peers. So, yeah.
If you can't wear it, then we're supposed to ask you to leave.
I have a question. Why did Hildy and Ron not wear masks? Why were they, let me finish my question. Why did they not wear Well, that doesn't make any sense to me.
We have to wear masks.
Of course it's a double standard. Can we ask Hildy? Yeah, that's the final say. Hildy, hold on please, Bella, hold on. Hildy, I love you and we love Ron, but why are we not allowed to go in there without a mask if you guys don't have to wear a mask? You know we're going to be asking that question. How does anybody answer that question? Okay, so we were refused entrance today into the Board of Supervisor meeting because we are not wearing masks.
If I was on the school board, I would have held Todd Flora accountable for our contingencies as far as getting our kids back in school. And when we had our first meeting on going back to school for the high school only, you know, there was a presentation made for recommendations, and it was interesting to me that those are the same, it was the same presentation that was kind of like a blueprint, or it was one that was, you know, a blanket for everyone. And I found that we needed to have something specific to our community and something specific to us and our teachers to keep both our teachers and our students safe. And I found that we just didn't do that. And, you know, we have to take in considerations from our teachers, and we have to take in considerations for our community, and we need to work together to make that cohesion. And I felt like we just didn't get there, and I would have, accountability would have been important.
some of the most establishment people that I know.
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me.
She wants to go and clip this video. It was a 17-minute video on how I was really happy that the schools were back open. If they had to, put masks on the kids and social distance them for the meantime to make themselves feel better just so we can get our kids back in school, yeah, it was a good thing. The kids needed to be in school, period. And however they did that was on their own conscience. When I got in there, I asked for us to not wear masks. I asked for the teachers to not push vaccines. I asked for us to not have to deal with all of the repercussions that came from a scamdemic. My opponent, Hildy, literally voted to shut down the county. She voted in favor of COVID restrictions. She shut down people's businesses that could not fend for their livelihood during that time. I would have never done that. I fought to get the businesses open. I fought to get people back in school. She sat there and she took that livelihood away from her constituents because at the time nobody knew. Maybe she woke up to it later, but doesn't change the fact she took your rights away from you and shut down the county. I never did that. I made one comment about how the schools were in session. Awesome. Well, maybe people should do more research and have, their own ability to make decisions. Hildy took those decisions away from people.
Okay, my name is Barbara Houston, and I'm on the board of Saint. I'm the marketing and PR person.
Wear a mask on Mondays in Monday's meeting. Why didn't? Well, I'm asking it. I'm asking that right now.
So Hildy Angius made this claim that she doesn't wear a mask. Well, we all had to wear masks. It was the reality of the situation we were in. We weren't allowed to go into stores. We weren't allowed to buy groceries. We weren't allowed to do anything unless we wore a mask. Hildy says she doesn't wear a mask or she never wore a mask, but there's plenty of video footage. There's plenty of pictures that show that Hildy wore the mask. So, Holly, I don't know what her deal is. I don't know. I've only had a couple conversations with her. Because what she wants is she wants to push a certain narrative that has nothing to do with actual conservatism. All it's trying to do is push the people that she needs to push because she has a job to do. And that's fine. She wants to utilize it for her career, but what it does is it doesn't support her career. It puts her down. It literally makes her look like a bad campaign manager because she's going against what her own candidates are saying and who they're supporting. And on top of that, I have voted down tax raises every single time that we've been faced with that predicament. Hildy Angius has voted to raise your taxes or the constituents' taxes of the county almost every single time. We want to talk about, freedom and not anti-establishment, rhinos, all of these things, when at the end of the day, she sat there and she is the one that wants to raise your taxes. Why would you vote for somebody that wants to raise your taxes? Doesn't make sense to me. I would never do that.
If tomorrow this whole country, or even just the state, said, you know what, we're going to flip this. We're going to do what originally the Constitution and the framers asked us to do, I'd say right on, and we would be in for it. But you're asking me to penalize my constituents over a philosophy that frankly doesn't exist anymore. I hate it doesn't. I hate it doesn't.
So, no mask. Never wanted the masks. I don't want it. I've never wanted it. And I don't know where Holly Tollison gets her information, but she, I hope that she makes it out to whatever, goal she plans on getting to and comes to peace with her life, because she's the only one out there being disruptive, because I haven't done any of that. I'm not out there talking crap at people. I'm not out there on the internet, being a keyboard warrior. I'm not out there sitting there trying to attack people. It's not my thing. I don't want to do that because I'm out here in this grassroots movement trying to teach people that the establishment has got you. And that's all there is to it. They do have you, and I am anti-establishment, period.